Have you ever felt the pressure to chase after things in life, whether it's relationships, success, or opportunities, only to find yourself drained and unfulfilled? In today's fast-paced world, we're often told that we must run after everything we want, as if life is a competition that demands relentless pursuit. But what if the answer lies not in chasing, but in attracting? What if the secret to finding what belongs to you lies in embodying the principles of Stoicism? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy practiced by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, offers a timeless perspective on how to live with purpose, calm, and confidence. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and character, and to let go of everything else. It's this mastery over ourselves that allows us to naturally attract what is meant for us. When you stop chasing and start focusing inward, something remarkable happens. You develop an inner peace and self-assurance that draws the right people and opportunities into your life. This isn't about manipulation or playing hard to get. It's about genuine growth, self-awareness, and living in harmony with nature's flow. As the Stoics believed, what belongs to you will find its way to you effortlessly, as long as you're aligned with your true self. In this video, we'll explore 10 transformative Stoic principles that will help you attract rather than chase. From mastering inner peace and detaching from outcomes to embodying quiet confidence and trusting the natural course of life, these lessons will empower you to live a life of abundance, authenticity, and fulfillment. So, if you're ready to stop running after what's not yours and start becoming the person who effortlessly draws the right things into their life, stay with us till the end. Let's dive into the wisdom of Stoicism and unlock the power to attract what's truly meant for you. Number 1. Master inner peace. In a world that constantly demands your attention and energy, mastering inner peace is both a challenge and a necessity. Inner peace isn't about escaping life's chaos. It's about maintaining calm and clarity no matter what happens around you. For the Stoics, this was one of the highest virtues, as it allowed them to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and confidence. To master inner peace, the first step is to recognize what you can and cannot control. This fundamental principle of Stoicism is timeless. Control your thoughts, emotions, and actions, but let go of the external circumstances you cannot influence. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you stop wasting energy on things outside your control, you reclaim a sense of balance and focus that cannot be disturbed by external forces. Inner peace begins with self-awareness. Are you reacting to situations emotionally, or are you responding with reason and intention? The Stoics teach us to pause and reflect before we act. For example, if someone criticizes you, instead of reacting defensively, take a moment to ask yourself, does this criticism hold any truth? Is this worth my energy? This practice of mindful reflection helps you remain composed and grounded. Another vital aspect of inner peace is learning to detach from outcomes. When you tie your happiness to specific results, whether it's success, recognition, or the approval of others, you give away your power. Instead, focus on doing your best in every situation and accept the results with grace. Epictetus advised, "Do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly." Building inner peace also requires setting boundaries. Learn to protect your time, energy, and mental space from negativity and distractions. Surround yourself with people and environments that uplift and inspire you, and don't hesitate to walk away from situations that disrupt your peace. Lastly, cultivate daily habits that reinforce calmness. Meditation, journaling, deep breathing, or even taking a quiet walk can help you connect with your inner self. These practices allow you to reset and reflect, ensuring that you approach life with clarity and intention. When you master inner peace, you become a magnet for positivity and strength. Others will sense your calm energy and naturally gravitate toward you, drawn by the stability you embody. Remember, peace isn't the absence of conflict. It's the ability to remain composed amidst it. Number 2. Focus on self-improvement. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the pursuit of self-improvement. Rather than fixating on what others think or chasing external rewards, Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing inward on becoming the best version of yourself. This is not a selfish act, it's a commitment to living a meaningful, virtuous life that benefits both you and those around you. Self-improvement begins with self-awareness. As Socrates said, "Know thyself." Take time to assess your strengths and weaknesses honestly. What areas of your life need growth? What habits are holding you back? This process isn't about self-criticism, it's about clarity. Only by understanding yourself can you create a plan for meaningful change. In Stoic philosophy, progress is more valuable than perfection. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Instead of overthinking or waiting for the perfect moment, take small, consistent steps toward your goals. Whether it's improving your skills, building better habits, or strengthening your character, every effort counts. Discipline is the backbone of self-improvement. It's not always easy to do what's right, especially when faced with distractions or temptations. Stoics teach us to prioritize long-term growth over short-term gratification. For example, instead of scrolling through social media for hours, you could spend that time reading, learning, or practicing a skill. These disciplined choices compound over time, leading to significant progress. Another key aspect of self-improvement is resilience. Life will throw challenges your way, but how you respond defines your character. Use setbacks as opportunities to grow stronger. Epictetus wrote, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." Each challenge you face is a chance to develop patience, courage, and wisdom. Self-improvement also involves nurturing your mind, body, and soul. Read widely, engage in meaningful conversations, and stay curious about the world. Exercise regularly to maintain physical health, as a strong body supports a strong mind. Lastly, reflect on your values and purpose to ensure your actions align with your deeper goals. It's essential to remember that self-improvement isn't about competing with others. Comparison only breeds envy and insecurity. Instead, focus on your journey and measure your progress against who you were yesterday, not against someone else's achievements. By dedicating yourself to self-improvement, you naturally become a source of inspiration to others. People are drawn to those who are disciplined, self-aware, and committed to growth. This quiet confidence and inner strength make you a magnet for opportunities and relationships that align with your true self. Self-improvement is a lifelong journey, but every step forward brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. As you grow, you'll find that the right people, opportunities, and experiences naturally align with your path. Number 3, detach from desperation. Desperation is one of the most unproductive and unattractive states of being. Whether it's in relationships, career, or personal goals, desperation signals a lack of control and often pushes away the very things you want to attract. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote to desperation: detachment. When you let go of the need to force outcomes, you cultivate an aura of calm confidence and allow life to unfold naturally. Desperation stems from a fear of lack, fear of not being enough, of missing out, or of losing something important. This fear creates a frantic energy that not only clouds your judgment, but also drives you to make decisions that can harm your long-term goals. For example, in relationships, chasing someone out of fear of being alone often pushes them further away. In contrast, detachment creates a sense of ease and balance that naturally draws people and opportunities to you. Stoics like Epictetus taught us to focus on what we can control and let go of the rest. He said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When you detach from desperation, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you can offer. Instead of chasing external validation, you build inner strength and self-worth. Detachment doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It means caring deeply, but not letting your happiness depend on the outcome. For example, if you're applying for a job, do your best to prepare, but don't obsess over whether you get the offer. Trust that whatever happens is part of your growth. Another key to detaching from desperation is practicing gratitude. Desperation often arises from focusing on what you don't have. By appreciating what you already possess, your skills, relationships, and achievements, you create a mindset of abundance. Gratitude reminds you that you're not defined by what you're chasing. Patience is another essential component. Desperation thrives on the need for immediate results, but most worthwhile achievements take time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." When you trust the timing of life, you free yourself from the stress of trying to control every moment. Lastly, cultivate self-respect. Recognize that you don't need to beg for what you deserve. People and opportunities that align with your true self will come naturally when you value yourself. Desperation erodes your dignity, while detachment reinforces it. By letting go of desperation, you create space for growth, self-discovery, and genuine connections. The calm energy of detachment is not only empowering, but also incredibly magnetic. Trust that what belongs to you will find its way, and focus on becoming the person worthy of those blessings. Number 4, be selective with your energy. Your energy is one of your most valuable resources, yet it is often squandered on people, situations, or pursuits that don't align with your values or goals. Stoicism teaches us to guard our energy with the same care we give to our time, as both are finite and irreplaceable. By being selective with your energy, you create a life that is purposeful, balanced, and focused on what truly matters. The first step in being selective with your energy is understanding your priorities. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" This question helps you identify what genuinely deserves your attention. Are you spending your energy on tasks and relationships that align with your goals, or are you being pulled in directions that lead nowhere? Every yes you give to one thing is a no to something else. Choose wisely. Boundaries are another key component of conserving your energy. Without clear boundaries, you may find yourself drained by the demands of others. This doesn't mean you should be selfish or unkind, but it does mean protecting your mental and emotional well-being. For instance, if someone constantly brings negativity into your life, consider limiting your interactions with them. Seneca advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Surround yourself with those who uplift and inspire you, not those who drain you." Being selective also means letting go of unnecessary conflicts and drama. Not every disagreement requires your participation, and not every insult deserves a response. Epictetus reminded us, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters. Focus on what truly matters, and don't let trivial issues consume your energy." Another aspect of energy management is learning to say no. Many people overcommit out of guilt or fear of disappointing others. However, saying yes to everything often leads to burnout. Practice saying no to requests or obligations that don't align with your priorities. This doesn't make you rude, it makes you intentional. Finally, recharge your energy regularly. Just as a well-rested body performs better, a replenished mind is more focused and creative. Dedicate time to activities that restore your energy, whether it's meditation, reading, exercise, or spending time in nature. Self-care isn't indulgent, it's essential. When you are selective with your energy, you become more effective and present in everything you do. People will notice your clarity and purpose, making you more attractive to the right relationships and opportunities. Remember, your energy is a finite resource. Use it wisely, and you'll find yourself building a life of greater fulfillment and impact. Number 5. Align with nature's flow. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the idea of aligning with nature's flow. The Stoics believed that true peace and fulfillment come from living in harmony with the natural order of the universe, rather than resisting or struggling against it. By embracing the natural rhythm of life, you can reduce the tension and stress that arise from trying to force outcomes that are beyond your control. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, often emphasized this idea. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The key to aligning with nature's flow is understanding that some things are beyond your control, and instead of fighting against them, you must accept them with grace and move forward. When you resist the natural flow of life, you create unnecessary struggles. For example, trying to force a relationship or cling to a job that no longer serves you only leads to frustration. Nature doesn't rush or fight, it flows effortlessly. The same can be applied to your personal and professional life. When you let go of the need to control every outcome, you make space for things to unfold naturally. Epictetus, another influential Stoic, wrote, "If you want to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters." This quote captures the essence of aligning with nature's flow. It's about embracing uncertainty and accepting that not everything is within your control. By letting go of the need to dictate the future, you allow life to take its course, which often leads to better outcomes than you could have anticipated. In practice, aligning with nature's flow involves setting goals, but remaining flexible about how those goals will be achieved. For instance, you may have a vision of where you want to be in your career or life, but the specific path may not always unfold as you imagined. Stoicism encourages you to trust the process and accept whatever comes, knowing that what truly belongs to you will find its way. Trust is another crucial element of this practice. When you trust that life is unfolding as it should, you reduce anxiety and resistance. Trust doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means acting with purpose and wisdom, knowing that some outcomes are not within your control. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not waste the rest of your time here worrying about other people. The most important thing is to keep yourself without blame." Finally, aligning with nature's flow also means understanding the seasons of life. Just as nature has its cycles of growth, decay, and renewal, you too go through phases of progress and setbacks. Accepting these cycles and embracing them allows you to grow with grace, rather than resist the inevitable changes. By aligning with nature's flow, you will find that life becomes less stressful and more in harmony. The right opportunities, relationships, and outcomes naturally come to you when you let go of the need to control everything. Trust in the process, accept what is, and allow life to unfold as it's meant to. Number 6. Embody quiet confidence. In a world that often equates confidence with loudness, attention-seeking, and bravado, the Stoics emphasize a different kind of confidence, quiet confidence. Quiet confidence isn't about seeking validation from others or displaying outward displays of self-assurance. Instead, it's a calm, grounded sense of certainty that comes from knowing who you are, accepting your strengths and limitations, and trusting in your ability to handle life's challenges with composure. The Stoics believed that true confidence comes from within, through self-awareness, self-mastery, and a focus on what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True confidence, then, is not about controlling external circumstances, but about mastering your inner world. Embodying quiet confidence begins with self-awareness. The Stoics encouraged introspection, asking ourselves questions like, what do I control and what do I not control? By accepting what is beyond your control and focusing on your virtues, strengths, and actions, you cultivate a sense of certainty that isn't shaken by the opinions or judgments of others. Quiet confidence comes from knowing that your value doesn't depend on external validation. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This highlights that confidence is less about the external world and more about how you perceive and respond to it. When you understand and accept your own value, there is no need for loud displays of self-assurance. You know your worth quietly, and that knowledge radiates from within. Another key aspect of quiet confidence is humility. The Stoics believed that true confidence stems from recognizing your limitations without allowing them to define you. Instead of obsessing over what you lack or trying to prove yourself, you focus on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and efforts. By embracing humility, you become comfortable with not having all the answers or needing constant praise. In contrast to noisy confidence, quiet confidence isn't aggressive or confrontational. It doesn't seek attention or validation. Instead, it manifests as a serene assurance. When you encounter setbacks, quiet confidence allows you to respond with equanimity rather than reacting with anxiety or frustration. You trust in your ability to handle difficulties, and you know that failure is simply a part of the process of growth. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized the importance of self-reflection. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Quiet confidence arises from this understanding that life is fleeting and uncertain, so there is no need to prove anything to anyone. Instead, you focus on living according to your values, remaining calm and composed in the face of adversity. Lastly, quiet confidence naturally attracts others. People are drawn to those who are self-assured, yet humble, grounded, yet poised. When you embody quiet confidence, you exude a sense of inner strength that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Others sense this quiet assurance and are often inspired by it, drawn to your authenticity and stability. In essence, quiet confidence is a reflection of self-mastery and tranquility. It's the quiet knowing that you are enough, regardless of what the world may think or say. By embracing this Stoic virtue, you'll find greater peace and strength, and people will be naturally drawn to your calm and confident presence. Number 7. Let actions speak for you. One of the most powerful Stoic principles is the idea that actions speak louder than words. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and empty promises, the Stoics believed that true character and value are revealed through what you do, not what you say. Letting your actions speak for you is about living with integrity, consistency, and a commitment to your values, rather than relying on empty rhetoric or seeking constant external validation. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, often emphasized that the quality of a person is measured not by their words, but by their deeds. He wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like that." This quote reminds us that the most effective and lasting impact we can have is through how we act, not how we speak. When your actions reflect your principles, you build credibility, respect, and influence that words alone cannot achieve. In a world that often emphasizes appearance and superficiality, the temptation to speak loudly about one's accomplishments or beliefs is strong. However, the Stoics understood that true power lies in quiet, consistent effort. Instead of seeking to impress others with grand statements, focus on doing what's right, regardless of who's watching. By living authentically and consistently according to your values, you create a legacy of integrity that cannot be easily ignored. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, taught that we should aim to control only what is within our power, our thoughts, actions, and responses. He said, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." This principle teaches us that focusing on our own actions is the most productive and impactful way to bring about change. Letting your actions speak for you also helps you detach from the need for validation. When you act with integrity, you don't need constant acknowledgement from others to feel worthy. You trust that your efforts are meaningful, even if they go unnoticed. This detachment from external approval allows you to remain focused on what truly matters: your growth, your values, and your contribution to the world. Consistency is another key aspect of letting your actions speak for you. It's not about occasional bursts of effort or grand gestures, but about daily, sustained commitment to your principles. The Stoics valued perseverance over perfection. Seneca wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." By consistently aligning your actions with your values, you create a foundation of trust and reliability. Letting your actions speak for you also means leading by example. People are drawn to those who live authentically and act with integrity. When your actions reflect your beliefs, others are inspired to do the same. This quiet form of leadership doesn't require titles or authority. It simply requires living with purpose and consistency. Lastly, letting your actions speak for you cultivates a sense of self-mastery. Instead of being reactive or driven by external circumstances, you become intentional and purposeful in your choices. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." When you act in alignment with your values, you tap into a deeper sense of fulfillment that no external validation can provide. In conclusion, the Stoic principle of letting your actions speak for you encourages you to focus on what truly matters: your character, your efforts, and your integrity. By living authentically and consistently, you create a life of meaning and purpose that speaks volumes, even when words fall short. Number 8. Practice patience and acceptance. Patience and acceptance are foundational virtues in Stoicism, teaching us how to respond calmly and gracefully to life's inevitable challenges. The Stoics believed that by practicing patience, we can navigate the unpredictable nature of existence without unnecessary stress or frustration. Acceptance, on the other hand, involves embracing what we cannot change and focusing on what is within our control. Together, these principles help cultivate resilience, tranquility, and a deeper sense of peace. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wrote, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" This quote reminds us that impatience often arises from unrealistic expectations or a lack of understanding of what is truly within our control. By accepting that some things are beyond our influence, we free ourselves from the burden of unnecessary frustration. Patience begins with understanding that life is full of uncertainties. Events unfold according to their own timeline, and many outcomes are beyond our control. Rather than fighting against these realities, the Stoics encourage us to accept them with grace. Epictetus, another key Stoic philosopher, wrote, "It is not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about them." This teaching highlights the role our perceptions play in our experience of patience. When we let go of the need to control everything, we reduce resistance and cultivate calmness. Practicing patience also involves recognizing that good things often take time. Growth, whether in personal development, relationships, or any endeavor, is rarely immediate. Seneca wrote, "Patience is not simply the ability to wait, it's how we behave while we're waiting." This quote reminds us that patience is not passive. It's an active practice of maintaining composure and focus while awaiting outcomes. Instead of rushing or forcing things, we remain grounded and trust that progress unfolds in its own time. Acceptance complements patience by helping us focus on what is within our control. There are circumstances, such as the actions of others, the outcome of certain events, or the natural flow of life, that we cannot change. Trying to control these situations only leads to frustration and anxiety. The Stoic practice of acceptance encourages us to recognize what we cannot change and let go of the desire to do so. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." This focus on what is within our power, our thoughts, our responses, and our actions, frees us from the unnecessary burdens of resistance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. Rather, it means acknowledging reality and adapting accordingly. By accepting what cannot be changed, we become more effective at influencing what we can. This shift in perspective allows us to focus our energy on things that truly matter, reducing the stress associated with trying to control the uncontrollable. Practicing patience and acceptance also strengthens our resilience in the face of adversity. Life is full of setbacks and challenges, but by accepting these as part of the natural order, we become more equipped to handle them without unnecessary suffering. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This reflects the Stoic belief that much of our discomfort comes from resisting what is, rather than embracing it and moving forward. In conclusion, practicing patience and acceptance is about letting go of the need to control everything and instead focusing on what is within your power. By accepting life's uncertainties and trusting the process, you cultivate a deeper sense of peace, resilience, and tranquility. Patience is not just about waiting, it's about how we respond to the unfolding of life, and acceptance allows us to navigate challenges with grace and wisdom. Number 9. Avoid attachments to outcomes. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the practice of avoiding attachments to outcomes. The Stoics believed that true peace and tranquility come from focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, while letting go of the desire for specific outcomes. The more we attach ourselves to desired results, the more we set ourselves up for frustration, disappointment, and anxiety when those outcomes don't materialize as expected. By releasing these attachments, we can cultivate a deeper sense of peace and contentment. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and emperor, wrote, "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." This quote emphasizes that worrying about outcomes we cannot control only leads to unnecessary suffering. The Stoics taught that while we must act with purpose and effort, we must not cling to the results. Outcomes are not within our direct control, and trying to force them only leads to frustration. Epictetus, another prominent Stoic, stated, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This reinforces the idea that what truly matters is how we respond to events, not the events themselves. When we become too attached to specific outcomes, we lose our peace of mind. By letting go of these attachments, we free ourselves from the burden of unmet expectations. Attachment to outcomes often arises from a desire for certainty and control. We seek predictable results, believing that if we act in a certain way, success or desired outcomes are guaranteed. However, life is unpredictable, and no matter how much effort we put into something, many external factors remain beyond our control. The Stoics emphasized that true freedom comes from accepting this reality and focusing on what we can control, our efforts, intentions, and responses. Seneca, another influential Stoic, wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." This reminds us that while preparation and effort are important, the outcome is not always within our control. When we release our attachment to specific results, we allow ourselves to remain calm and focused, regardless of the outcome. Practicing detachment from outcomes doesn't mean we give up on our goals or cease working towards them. Instead, it means we align ourselves with the process rather than fixating on the results. For example, if you're pursuing a goal such as a career, relationship, or personal improvement, your focus should be on your actions, effort, and progress rather than the final result. By doing so, you reduce the stress associated with outcomes that may not come to fruition. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. Rather, it involves trust in the process. When you detach from specific outcomes, you can remain present and committed to the journey, trusting that whatever unfolds is beyond your control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." This quote reminds us that life is fleeting and uncertain, so the only thing we truly control is our actions and how we respond. In practice, avoiding attachment to outcomes requires mindfulness and self-awareness. It means letting go of the fear of failure or disappointment and embracing uncertainty with calmness. By doing so, we allow ourselves to adapt, learn, and grow, regardless of whether the results align with our expectations. Number 10. Value what you offer, not what you seek. In the pursuit of success, relationships, and personal growth, many people become fixated on what they seek to gain, whether it's recognition, material possessions, or validation. However, the Stoics teach that the true source of fulfillment and peace comes not from what you seek, but from what you offer to others and the world. By shifting our focus from outcomes to the value we provide, we cultivate a deeper sense of purpose, self-worth, and tranquility. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote emphasizes that the real power lies not in what we seek from others or external circumstances, but in the value we create and contribute. When we focus on offering value, we place less emphasis on what we receive in return, reducing the burden of attachment and expectation. Epictetus, another key Stoic thinker, taught that we should strive to focus on the quality of our actions rather than their outcomes. He said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." This teaches us that our self-worth and fulfillment are derived from who we are and the effort we make, not from what we receive as a result. When we place value on what we offer, we gain clarity, purpose, and inner peace. In a society often driven by results, success is often equated with what we acquire, whether it's wealth, status, or admiration. However, the Stoic approach challenges this mindset. The Stoics valued virtue, effort, and contribution over external rewards. Seneca, another influential Stoic philosopher, wrote, "He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing." This highlights the trap of seeking more while undervaluing the value of what we contribute. True contentment arises from recognizing our inherent worth and the value we provide to others. When we focus on what we offer, we move away from the anxiety and stress associated with needing external validation. The desire for validation often stems from a fear of not being enough or not receiving what we believe we deserve. By prioritizing what we bring to the table, our efforts, intentions, and character, we cultivate a stronger sense of self-worth that isn't dependent on external factors. Practicing this Stoic principle means asking, what can I give, create, or contribute, rather than what can I gain? When we shift our focus to offering value, we become more focused on our actions and the impact they have on others. This sense of purpose becomes the source of our fulfillment, rather than the fruits of our labor. Letting go of attachment to outcomes doesn't mean abandoning ambition or goals. It means understanding that success is often found in the process of contributing rather than the result of receiving. By placing value on what we offer, we create a more meaningful life driven by purpose and authenticity. Marcus Aurelius also reminds us, what we do now echoes in eternity. This reflects the Stoic belief that our efforts and actions leave lasting impacts, whether or not we see the immediate results. When we focus on the value we contribute, we find peace in knowing that our actions align with our values and contribute to the greater good.